I'd like to compare what it's like when you are living in and connected with your heart and soul with what it is like when you're not doing that, but rather living with the ego counterparts. The ego I'm referring to is the aspect of your personality that operates disconnected from your heart and soul, perhaps living more from your mind with its constant analysis and questions and insecurities. And I would call living from your heart and soul enlightenment in the 21st century. And in this session, I'm going to discuss 7 major differences with you. First of all, when you're living from your heart and soul, you have true freedom. You feel light, expanded, deeply free within. You're naturally and spontaneously happy, contented, and fulfilled. And none of this is dependent on what is happening outside of you. In other words, it's not circumstantial. It's all coming from within. When you're living from your ego, your inner state is dependent on your outer circumstances. And this leads one to always be seeking and wanting something they don't have. Because basically the ego believes that there's something it hasn't yet found that will bring it the fulfillment, the security, and the happiness that it wants. So it leads to an ever unending search for something else. And this is why people want the latest style, the newest gadget, the most recent book, a trip somewhere to see and experience something they've never seen or experienced. The inner belief is that the next newest thing will bring an inner peace and fulfillment that they've been searching for. The second experience that you will find when you're living from your heart and soul is that you live in trust that is so deep that you feel completely taken care of. You feel comfortable and complete. And this is not a justification for lack. Rather, it's a sense of wholeness, comfortableness, completeness that I'm speaking of. A deep quality of trust and what it feels like to be in deep trust. There is a sound stability, security, comfort, and satisfaction in that. When you're living from the ego, you have a false security derived from clinging to people or things to make you feel safe and secure and complete. The third experience of living from the heart and soul is a sense of deep, sustained, unencumbered love. That's an inner glow and a radiance of being in love with life and everything and everyone in life, without passing judgment on anyone or anything. Your heart and soul loves to love, and it finds opportunities everywhere. When living from the ego, there's an absence of deep love, so there's a never-ending search for emotional love and sensual highs to fill the emptiness. But deep down there's a longing for something that seems to be missing, and yet never quite finding it. And this leads to a perpetual searching for something or someone in an effort to find what only true deep love can give. The fourth condition of living from the heart and soul is the experience of deep peace. When people are asked what they want in life, one of the things near the top of everyone's list is peace. Besides all the possessions and things that a person wants, the underlying quality they want is peace. And that is an automatic quality that comes from living from the heart and soul. On the other hand, when living from the ego, there's an absence of sustained peace, because the ego is always driven by the need for judgments and criticism and blame and anger and fear and disappointment and feeling trapped and stuck and so on. So when you have various combinations of those qualities, you can never really have deep peace. The fifth state that comes from living from your heart and soul is true joy. You're always at home with your deepest self, what some might call the divine presence. So how could you not be happy and joyful? There's a beautiful contentment and fulfillment underscored by a kind of sustained enjoyment, even a thrill and a joyfulness in living. When you're living from the ego, on the other hand, instead of joy, there's drama. There are fluctuations in a person's emotional state, accompanied by a story. I'm joyful when I get what I want, and I'm mad or sad when I don't. So there's discouragement, sadness, resentment, worry, and all the other emotional swings that come from not having what you want. The sixth wonder of the world of living from the heart and soul is deep beauty. Deep beauty is a way to experience life that sees, feels, and experiences the deep beauty in everything. It's not based on appearances, although that can certainly be a part of it. It's a deep feeling and appreciation of the richness of existence itself. Deep beauty is appreciated in people as well as things, and so it changes your relationship with everything, because everyone and everything is seen in its majesty, magicalness, and mystery. It's seeing and appreciating the many gifts that everyone and everything brings to your life experience. And you feel it deep inside in a way that is continuous, ongoing, unfolding, and all through the day, every day. Now, when you live from the ego, you live superficially, or more superficially. There's a tendency to view the glass as half empty instead of half full. There's a feeling that life is not complete, and beauty is seen as fleeting, rather than the underlying reality of existence. The seventh, and certainly not the least, of the gifts of living from the heart and soul, is physical, mental, and emotional health. As you release negative beliefs, judgments, and perceptions and reactions, then the life force can flow freely through you. So your energy goes up. You feel better. You feel clearer, more alive, and healthier than you were before. When you are living from your ego, there can be all the health problems listed in all the books. And that's not to say that the ego is a cause of all health problems, but living a negatively ego-based lifestyle can certainly lead you down that path. So every day we're making numerous choices whether to live from our heart and soul or the ego. And in most cases we don't think we have a choice, because the reactions seem to automatically arise from some place within us. But there are ways to shift where you experience life from to the heart and soul. I call it the soul merge process, the integration of the heart and soul into every aspect of your consciousness. So that becomes the way that you experience life all the time. Now that's not an instantaneous transformation. It's a progression until the changeover is complete. One of my loves and joys in life is helping people to make those transitions. So I invite you to come to one of my retreats or to do phone consultations. They can help accelerate your progress on your life path. And I'd love to do that.